I'll show you guys how to remove the Dana 44 rear axle out of this 2006 Rubicon. First thing you need to do is to put your floor jack under the pumpkin to support the weight. Next we're going to remove the lower control bolts. These are really tight, so put your wrench on here, take a good shot-filled hammer and smack it and break those loose. Next, with our impact wrench and a 15mm socket, we're going to remove the rear sway bar. And of course, everything I'm doing here you're going to repeat on the other side. Using a 15mm socket, a long extension, you can thread through the coil springs and put your wrench on the back side to remove the upper control arm mount to the axle housing. Now be careful with that. The axle is going to start to unload because we're taking all the connection points off, and it will start to rest on the jack itself, so it can be wobbly. Next we want to disconnect the emergency brake cables from the upper control arm. They're mounted on here with the bracket. So a 13mm deep socket on an air ratchet. And that will come off, and repeat on the other side. So here we are under the Jeep. You'll need to remove the driveline, which I already have prior to this video, but an 8mm box end wrench will take those bolts loose, the caps, and you can remove the drive shaft. And then last under here we have the emergency brake adjuster assembly, and we'll remove these two 13mm bolts right here. After you remove your center console, you'll access your emergency brake handle bracket here. The handle's been removed, but to simply remove a pin that connects the handle to the cable, there's two 10mm bolts there for the mount. Remove those two, and then we'll have to separate the cable from the bracket. These three-pronged keepers that retain the emergency brake cable to the bracket are hateful little things and difficult to get off. What I found it works pretty good sometimes is a pair of pliers, just a ring around them, close it around them, and you can close those teeth. It's like witchcraft, these things. Sometimes they'll come off first try, sometimes you'll fight with them for several minutes. Alright. Now all we have left here is the waterproof dust cover. Remove these three Phillips screws, number 2 Phillips. And you can leave the dust cover on, just simply turn it and feed it back through the hole in the body. Now using an impact wrench and a 55 Torx bit, we're going to disconnect the pan hard bar. That's the bar that prevents the axle from going side to side. Now on the top of the pumpkin here, you're going to see the connection for the air locker. And using my favorite tool of all time, the snap-on panel tool, I use it for everything, we'll There's a red keeper right here. I want to take this off here and show you how these keepers work. Normally I would take it off right where it's at. Okay, here we go. This will help a little bit. Right here, on stock wiring harnesses, whenever you see this red keeper here, it's a safety catch. You cannot take these things loose without removing that catch. And you don't have to remove it entirely, but you do have to push it till it's flush with the plug. Alright, so once you get this keeper slid over, then you can disconnect the plug. Now let's go disconnect the brake line. Here I am again under the accursed thing, removing the brake line. As you can see right here on the driver's side, there's a size 40 Torx bolt that holds it to the frame. Take that off. Not like that. Alright, take that off. Now we can disconnect the brake line. Now using a 7/16 tubing wrench, go ahead and remove the brake line, and be sure to grab yourself a drip tray because this thing will leak for a month. This pan hard bar will hang up on you. So just get a pry bar. And you should be able to work it out. Now we can pull it out. That pan hard bar will give you trouble every time. Now we can pull the axle out. There it is, Rubicon rear axle assembly, Dana 44 R removal. I had about 40 minutes into the job, and that was with filming this, so with air tools you should be able to do it in about 30 minutes. So here's the complete list of tools that you'll need to remove the axle on a Jeep Wrangler TJ rear axle. You'll need a number 2 screwdriver, you'll need a impact wrench, you'll need a long extension 3/8 drive, a 21mm box end wrench, a 18mm box end wrench, a 15mm box end wrench, a 3/8 line wrench, a pry or panel tool, an air ratchet's handy. You'll need a sockets, an 18mm, 12mm, 10mm, and a 15mm short extension. You'll need a 55 Torx, and you'll need a 40 Torx, as well as a 13mm. You'll need like I said, a number 2 screwdriver, a dead blow hammer, and a Glock 26. If you don't have a Glock 26, a Glock 17 will do in a pinch.